took the lessons that we learned from working with athletes, working with soldiers, and we brought them to the business world. And we created a whole new body of work that we've called commitment-based management. And people ask, well, does it work in small companies? Does it work in big companies? The answer, thankfully, is yes. And the reason is that it gets at the fundamental nature of the changing world of work. So it doesn't matter if you're a small business or a big business. For the most part, what we historically think of as work doesn't really happen anymore. I mean, if you kind of feel when people say, oh, we're going to work, well, the imagery that jumps up is you could see somebody in a factory making something, or some guy out and building something, or somebody growing crops and producing food. And to be clear, those are all vital, important functions in our economy. But because of the evolution of technology, they just don't require as many people as they used to. The manufacturing sector of our economy is now roughly like 15%. So what's the rest of it? Well, we've made a transition into a new era. The new era is called the coordination era. It's not the knowledge worker, it's the coordination worker, right? You can have lots of knowledge and still be useless. We all know people like that. But what is happening today is the value generators in the economy are what we call coordination workers. These are people who are educated, agile, mobile, and they don't like the old traditional view of management as supervision. So they create value out of their effective interactions with each other to produce customer satisfaction. And those customers can be internal or external, doesn't matter. And so it's a scalable notion, and it comes down to the fundamental element of work. Work isn't about pounding on something. In the coordination era, work is making and fulfilling promises. And it isn't any more complex than this. I promise to do X by time Y. The dilemma with that simple little formula is just that. It's very simplicity. Everybody listens to that and goes, well, what? That's no big deal. That's not revolutionary. We do that all the time. Yes, you do to some extent, but it is the lack of rigor with that simple little cycle that produces most of the messes in our organizations. Yeah, so the question is again about, well, what about principles that scale from small to big? The principle of commitment-based management is universal. It is more important, in fact, in today's world than ever. And if you're starting a business, running a business, thinking about running a business, you want to learn these practices because that's the thing that's going to ensure your success.